Welcome to Keeping It Real, where we talk business, money, and mindset.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Keeping It Real podcast. I'm your host, Parikshit, and as always, I got a really special guest with me today. I brought him on because he's someone that I look up to, when it comes to just raising my standards, mindset, and stock trading. And before I introduce him, I want to also give the story of how we met and why we still are connected. We met at Jason Capital's event. Actually, we were supposed to go lunch together, but I had to go to a meeting, so I didn't get to meet him. But during dinner with some of the speakers, he was there. He was just very nice. I remember he was buying drinks for everybody, just being a really, good person. I still didn't know him then. And then towards the end, we got to know each other. And, he was the only one from that group who was kind of being nice to me. He was willing to go back to the hotel if I didn't get into a club or whatever, So, and we had some amazing conversation. And ever since that day, I just really appreciated our guest, who I'm going to get to in a second. And so today, that's why I decided to bring in my friend David, who is a stock trader, right? David, welcome to the podcast, man.
Hey, what's going on, Splashman? I really appreciate your invite here as hospitality here on the Zoom call, man. I can't wait,
yes,
man.
Sir. Yes, sir. I gave you a pretty dull introduction. I think you can do better. You want to give these people a better introduction of who you are, what you do. I just said you're a stock trader, but you're more than that.
You hear people everyone say, "Oh yeah, he's just a stock trader, I'm a forex trader," But yeah, I've been in the stock market for 8 years, and I'm a very consistent, profitable stock trader out there. I consider myself top 10%. Just kind of being humble. I'm not gonna say top 1%. I think top 10%. One of the traders that knows what they're doing and have the discipline and the strategies that work. So that's just who I am. Nothing too special, but I appreciate your good good talking about me, man.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, by the way, he is very legit, and I can say that because I'm in his group and I can see, I can literally see what he's teaching. And not only that, I've shared this with, and he knows I've shared this with multiple of my friends, and they're making money. You know what I mean? So, before we even start this podcast, if you guys actually want to learn from him, stocks and trading, David is the guy, okay? You guys should go ahead and learn from him. We're going to put all his links down below after this podcast. Go check him out. He's the right person to learn from if this is something you've been interested in for a long time. I guess I just wanted to say that, as well as we start this. But David, when it comes, I'm guessing you said you've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
I guess my question to you is how'd you get started? What even introduced you to stocks, and what made you go, all right, this is what I'm going to do long term?
Right. Yeah, man. So, the way I got started was, before anything else, I didn't know anything about stocks, or I don't come from, a family background of financials or anything. I come from a middle, lower class, family. And I started back when I was 19 years old. So, I was in college, I was going for music, and my dream was to become a professional violinist. So I was going for music. All I knew was how to play my violin, and I was good at it, and I was going and pursuing that sometime in freshman year. Some of the, fellow freshman year, kids, you were just kind of, maybe I wouldn't say, friends, some roommates or what, not roommates, just, some people, talking about some stocks, what is all that about? It's just more than one person. It was really actually multiple people talking about stocks that were happening back when I was in freshman year. And I'm like, I got to look into this. And they told me about, one of the guys told me about this website called Stock Twist. And it's like a Twitter for traders and investors. And I was looking around and saw that there was this one guy with a couple of thousands of followers, and he went by some sort of biotech guru. I forgot the name of it, but the point is he was pointing out to a stock, talking about this biotech stock's gonna really jump, and he was talking really good stuff about it. And I was really young, naive, and excited back then to get started. So I just dumped all my money in. I had $2,000. I was all the money I saved up back 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was just man,
gambling.
Man, I needed to make money because back at that time, man, you gotta understand, both my parents were injured, and both our financial situation of our family wasn't at the greatest, and I had to pay for myself for college, and then I was actually paying money anytime any of these shows, when I played for weddings or places like bars when I was playing my violin, some of that money would go towards my family. So anyways, I'm like, man, dude, I gotta make more money. And that was the main concern because, of my parents. And so I wanted to work hard, and then that money. So here's a long story short. I put that money into that stock that the guy was talking about, some random dude. Don't ever do that. Don't just follow some random dude and just dump all your money in. But I did that. And 30 minutes later, I was so nervous. I pulled my phone out during class, and next thing you know, I was up $300, and I sold that, clicking that sell button, and I made $300 in 30 minutes. And that was like my easiest money that I ever made in my life. I'm just like, wow, I was really mind blown because, growing up 19 years old, 19 years of my life, I'm just like, man, all I did to make money was, either play, the violin, in the streets, or, some sort of like a venue, or, I had to like take one of those like moving boxes or mow the lawn, you know what I mean? So that's what I did to make money. But, it's all physical stuff. This was like mind-blowing stuff. So I literally left class and went to a library, and I decided to ask the librarian, hey, give me all the books on the trading and investing. And I start my journey from there on forth.
Wow, man, that is amazing. I have a quick question. I didn't even know this, bro. I didn't even know that you actually used to play like violin at shows and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Did you? Yeah, no. I didn't know that I know you're really good at it because I've seen, your story of you playing it, but I didn't know that's actually what you used to do to make money. I just thought it was a hobby of yours. Wow, bro. Do you share that with a lot of people, or?
I mean, whoever asked me, my upbringing, I might have just mentioned it, but I don't go around saying, I used to be this or that.
That's what I love about you, bro. Because we live in a world now where people like do anything to, or find any way to victimize themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's say someone else in your situation, they'll just like keep on mentioning that and just make people feel bad for them. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. We can definitely talk about it a little down the line, but
yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah. Sorry, go on. You were about to say something?
Yeah. No. So I guess I'm not surprised you didn't know that, because I guess I didn't really share that with you, but so that's that.
Right. So let's say, there's some people right now. I know there's so many entrepreneurs listening to this. Some might even be aspiring entrepreneurs who want to get started, right? And they might be looking into whether investing in Forex, investing crypto, right? Or investing elsewhere. Like, why should they consider stock trading instead? Or why do you like stocks? Or I guess the question should just like be, why stocks? Why do stock trading?
Exactly right. So that's a good question. I mean, first things first, obviously people are going to say what they know and based on their experience, right? So my experience has been great through stock trading. So basically, I'm definitely going to just say good things about stocks, because based on my experience, stocks have changed my life. Like, I'm not talking about just financially. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about what else that changed it. But, from my experience, trading definitely has been it's been a rewarding experience. Let's just say that. And so, and also I'll say that, stock trading, I think there's a lot of there's a misbelief of what most people think. People think, you need to be already rich to invest or trade in the stock market. You need to have a lot of money, you know what I mean, before you can trade in the stock market. And I think that's one of the big misconceptions, and that's what I want to let people know, that hey, you don't need a lot of money to make money, or a lot of money, right? So I think that's what causes the people to not do stock trading. They go for more like those Forex ones, because the Forex has more leverage, right? But it's also more risky. So people want to take bigger risks for some reason. And then, because, the thing is, I get it. It's more attractive for people that, you hear about, with $50, man, you could turn that around to like $1,000. And then, the thing is, the chances of those are so slim, So anyways, my personal experience, I've been doing good with stocks, and the percentage gains are actually really nice. The stocks that I trade, and I find are stocks that run up. Like today, like we traded, I literally nailed it. I just had the best, my top record gain of the year today, trading ABIO and HX, and I both called the stock, and they went over 100%. Meaning it would have doubled the money. You know what I mean? And you don't really see a lot of stocks that just literally runs above 100%. A lot of people think, but there are a lot, like literally almost every single day. And it's all about learning and understanding the game of trading in the stock market, right? This isn't investing. I want you guys to know the difference. Investing into stocks is where you're basically, you really love the company. You really believe in the company. Like say, for example, Tesla, or maybe you guys like AMD, like Disney, those big companies like Apple and stuff like that. But, for me, I like to basically trade stocks that doesn't necessarily have to be these big companies, right? These are basically, there are ways what we call a technical, different analysis in the stock market. And I go by the technical analysis, and you can make money through other people's trading on the same stock if they like it. So there's certain chart patterns, right? And there's different strategies that you can do in trading to make a lot of money. And that's the path and I took, and I've been successful at it. And I mastered the art of trading, and I understand the game. You feel me? And so that's why a lot of people, as in college, when I was in college, I was posting all of these ideas as I was, studying in college, and everyone was just getting like, wow, they're like mind blown up. They're like, man, dude, they were emailing me like nonstop. Like, I don't know how the heck you find these plays, and I don't know how you make all these gains. Because I'll be making like 40% a day or 80% a day. It's like people are like, what in the world is going on here? You know what I mean? Because people think you hear like stock market, oh yeah, I just made like 20% in a year, and they're like really talking all that, In terms of that, you're making 40 to 80% or even 100% more in a day.
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of people don't know about that. And it's just all about the game, man. I don't care what you hear from other people. Oh, this must be a scam. It don't matter, man. If it's working, there are other people out there showing you the results. They're actually getting it because they know what the heck's going on. So why don't people just, sit down, humble yourself, and listen to the person, the expert that's actually killing it. You know what I mean? So that's what I think a lot of people need to understand, So that's why I said about stocks. There's a lot of lucrative, amounts that you can make.
Right. And how were you able to just grow your following or become known as the guy for stocks? Did it start off with your friends, or how did it really how did it start your personal brand?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people started off with understanding me on StockTwits. Everyone kind of knew me on StockTwits, like, oh, I know that guy, and everyone just kind of knew me as like Mr. Investor, and I just went by as Mr. Investor. That was kind of like my username. So everyone knows me by Mr. Investor. So even like my group in the group chat, I go by Mr. Investor. So and the name doesn't really quite match with what I do, right? Because I'm a trader, but it's just like it's stuck on because I have like over tens of thousands of followers on that platform when I was in college, and then a lot of people start requesting me, hey man, can you start like a service? Like literally, I was not like a business mindset or was I like trying to make money off of other people? People were literally reaching out like, yo man, can you like start a service? Like, I will pay you to learn from you and stuff like that, And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm already making good money through stocks on my own. My whole idea was, at this time I was about to graduate, I was like, man, obviously by then I wasn't going to go for the violin anymore. I still had a passion. I still had passion for music. I love music. I still, produce and like play for, my music, but, I don't want to pursue that as my career. You feel me? Because I have another passion, which is trading now, and I love it. It's kind of like, people love doing what they're good at, there's a reason why people love video games because they're good at the video games, right? Nobody wants to play video games if they suck, man. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's a fact. The better you get at something, the more you progress. Like it just gets like you get happier, right? Like if we're being same with me, and I guess like with my business, I only got really excited when I got better at it, when we're actually making more money from it.
Exactly.
So I can definitely see where your, I guess like interest and passion developed for trading, especially if you were just growing and improving.
Yeah, once you get that bite and you taste it, you don't want to let go. You want more, man.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like once you see the long term potential, and you're like, oh shit, I can actually make a lot of money from this. Then you're like, all right, let me go all in.
Exactly. It just gets fun, man, because it's like, man, you're just enjoying it. So like that's just how it's been. Like for me trading, man, I just been enjoying it. Like, and it's just been fun. Also making money on the side. It's just been an amazing feeling. And also not only that, from there, so that's when like a lot of customers, I should say, or these students of mine, not customers. I like to think of them as students. I took them under my wing, and I gave them. I think I started charging them like, I forgot, $80 a month or something like that, or $90.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, I started low, a little bit on the lower end, and then I didn't really think about growing. I just wanted to take in the people that really wanted to learn, and I started doing that. Back in 2017, started this little service, and then made an LLC out of it, and then went and forth, taught them like live, showing them what is it that I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, man, there's no secret. I don't want to hide any secrets. I actually want people to succeed, man. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people understand, like, when other people succeed, like those people like they just become better traders, and that also affects the stock price. Anytime you guys look to play stocks together, even your friends and stuff like that, like you just have the ability to just some of these stocks, like, remember, keep in mind these stocks aren't like Amazon or anything like that, right? So if you understand the game of it, which I'm not going to get all into today, but you'll know that, wow, like with some studying and with discipline, being a good risk manager, understanding and recognizing that the market is limitless, and developing this winning attitude is a game changer. So that's why I think over time a lot of people appreciated my teachings, and they were getting good results, and they just start telling people, and it was through word of mouth, and I think it was like 300 to 300 members within 1 year that year when I started.
Wow.
Just all through word of mouth. I didn't know how to make a website. I didn't know like how to market. I wasn't a business or marketer, you know what I mean? So
right. So that's hilarious. I like that. Yeah, I like that. But you know what they say, like the best form of marketing is a good product. So that says a lot about your product in itself, right? Like if you were to get 300 members and you weren't a marketer and you don't know how to do that shit, like you were just able to do that by having a really, really good product, right? That's credit to you. I wanted to touch on this part because this is when one of my friend Vivian, when he joined your trading group, he was trading before that, but I introduced him to you and I said, hey, listen, I have a friend who does amazing. You should learn. He has this group. You should learn from him. And then he joined your group. And what he tells me that you've helped him the most so far is helped him with the psychology of trading, right? Or like just like how to think when it comes to trading. Do you have any insights on that, I guess, when it comes to the psychological part of trading? Because I feel like most people forget that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's huge, man. This is what I say to people. It's the stuff like the charts, how you guys see the candlesticks, and people are like, wow, like I see all this, and this looks so mathematical. I am so confused. That's only 10% of trading in the market, right? That's only 10% of your skill. Right. So like that stuff, once you know and get it down, that's really easy. It's not that hard. But so that's only 10%. The technical analysis is 10%. The rest of the the 90%, we can break it down to say 65% risk management, and the other percentage of being risk management, right? So or should we keep it 60% is mostly trading psychology, 30% of that is risk management, and then the 10% is the the technical analysis. So a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot to do with trading psychology involved. So what trading psychology refers to is the aspects of an individual's mental makeup that help determine whether that person will be successful in buying and selling these securities or stocks for a profit, right? So, like trading psychology is really, really important, like as other attributes, like, you're getting the knowledge, the experience and skill to determine your trading success. So that's why, I teach people, this trading psychology from time to time. So basically, you have to kind of rewire your human brain, right? Human brains are not wired to trade, basically. So what I like to do, and this is all stuff that I learned from a very genius guy. His name goes by Mark Douglas, and his book by The Disciplined Trader and the Trading in the Zone really, really intrigued me, and wanted to learn more about trading, the psychology aspect. So I even studied psychology when I was in college, So
right.
I think a lot of people that study psychology or know about something about psychology, I think it's really going to help them in their trading game a lot. But anyways, just kind of like, accepting that the market is random, because it is, it's at the end of the day, it's a probability game. But if you come out and understand and master the patterns that the stock has been doing, it's literally like rinse and repeat. Okay. A lot of people don't understand. It's like these candlesticks or these price movements in the stocks, they're like human behavior. It literally shows human behavior. In the stock market, there's a lot of like, fear and greed. And if you can master the controlling your fear and your greed, that's also another way to level up your trading game. Also, like, I remember Warren Buffett once saying that it's not greed that drives the world, but envy, right? So when you hear like how everyone is making money in like, these back in the days, like Bitcoin or blockchain stocks,
right.
Your envy increases, right? And with that, your fear of missing out, the FOMO.
Right, the FOMO, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh my gosh, man, I gotta get in on that, man. I see everybody or hearing everybody making money, man. I gotta get in on it, So it's like suddenly you're just chasing wild stocks and throwing money around. And FOMO is one of the most destructive things an investor or trader can do to themselves. You know what I mean? So that's why, you have to treat this trading game like a business. This is like your business. This is your own business, right? So as a business owner, you have to be a great risk manager. You don't want to blow up your, in this case, account or business, right? You don't want to lose to the point where, and what I mean by treat like your business, in business, does business just make money every single time? No, there's gonna be some losses. There's gonna be incurring some losses, right? So it's like, as a business owner, your job is to what? Do your best to maximize the profits in that business and to minimize those losses. And that is how businesses thrive, right? That's not, businesses don't just, it's not some ATM machine that just keeps producing money once you set it up, you know what I mean? So that's how I like to tell people, you got to treat it as a business, have patience, and what I mean by patience is wait and do very little to nothing until the best possible opportunities present to you. You don't have to trade literally every single day per se, especially when you're new. The good thing about not trading is you're not exposed to any risk. So you won't lose money. There will always be another opportunity right around the corner. A lot of people think, man, I just got a guy joining in today, and like, man, I just missed out on that 300% runner today, and I can't believe that was the best day. By the way, I made like $80,000 on my larger account today, and that's $6,000 on my small account today. So it's about 86,000 profits today. So what I mean? So people are like, holy crap, like I can't believe it. I mean, sometimes to myself too, I have to kind of sit back a little bit, and I have to think about, man, dude, I can't believe I'm at that level where I'm making that kind of money in a day, and I think a lot of times, I do make, 5-figure from time to time, and stuff like that. And it's almost becoming like a normal thing, but you still have to like sit back and be like, man, dude, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And you really have to cause what happens is people at that stage, what I see in this game is, especially with because it involves money in any kind of game that involves money, people get egotistical. You know what I mean? Right. People get this ego, and their ego gets blown out of their heads, and then they start losing their control. Their emotions get clouding their judgments, and then they start going in bigger, and that's how they literally start becoming the undisciplined trader, and they're not in the zone anymore, and they start becoming a foolish trader, and they lose their money like that. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, you really have to come back and ask yourself, hey man, am I still good? Like, am I still humble? Otherwise the market's gonna humble you. There's a lot of traders out there that were trying to go against my call, meaning my call is meaning my predictions, right? I'm predicting that the stock is gonna go this high, and everyone is like, no, the stock is done, the stock's gonna go down. So those are what we call bears. Those are guys that try to make money on the way down. By the way, you can make money on the way down, right? Not just on the way up. So I was like, no, you have no idea, the stock has a lot more. And then I think I'm all about respectfully, sharing ideas, and if people don't agree, just respectfully agree or disagree. But these guys were just absolutely disrespecting me, basically on the stock twist today. I got a little pissed off. So I'm like, you know what? That's it, man. I decided to, really, get on my large my account and start to really push these stocks. You know what I mean? Because what happens is, you're just basically buying a lot of the stocks, and with a lot of quantity, that's going to push the stock, and not only that, I saw the stock having a lot of room to run. So anyways, I just want to say, some of the best opportunities present themselves at market extremes when everyone is running for the exit, or when you're getting trading tips from your Uber driver or your dentist. Bottom or top is probably very near. So just think about that. Don't just go right at it. And I want people to understand, the listeners, opportunities take time to develop. A lot of people like to rush. Don't ever just chase right after the money. Just take some time. It's okay to be slow, man. Opportunities take time to develop. Don't force these trades by pretending to see something there that isn't there. A lot of people like to imagine that, oh man, I think this is going to go to the moon. No. What are the actual reasons? State it out. You know what I mean? Wait until all of your, indicators line up, and the risk versus reward is worth it, right? Because you never want to go into a stock and you know where your reward is, but then you're risking a whole lot more than what you're going to look to make, right? That's stupid. You don't want to do that. So that's something that I want to tell your, listeners.
100%. So many things that I like you pointed out there, man. First is just like, the thing of FOMO. Like you just said, if you're an Uber driver, if your friend's mom is telling you to do something or buy a stock, like that's what happened in Bitcoin, right? Everybody and their mother was talking about Bitcoin. That's when like you should, all right, you're like, hey, I should do my research before. Like, I guess I would like to call that sheep mentality. You know what I mean? Like, think for yourself. Think for yourself. Think for yourself, make conclusions based on like, your thoughts rather than what someone else says. And kind of, speaking of the importance of mindset, I want to kind of segue to the next topic. And I feel like you've kind of already touched on it, just talking about the psychology, but what are the patterns you've seen with your students? The ones that are successful versus the ones that are not successful, because you have a trading group. Not everybody in there makes money. Same with the people inside of my course. Some people join, never watch a video, right? Or some people like we understand how it is. But what differences have you seen between the ones that succeed versus the ones that don't?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Like, man, it's been a truly amazing experience teaching these students of mine, and it's been almost 4 years now, and or 3-4 years, right? So I'm just like, man, seeing these guys, I see it. It's like I'm a professor, It's like I'm a professor. I see myself as a professor now, and I see these guys as students, right, in a classroom, where it's and let's face it, man. There's not gonna be. Not all professors, most of the professors would like their students to do well. Yes or no, right? I mean, it makes sense. If they're teaching you guys something, they would like you to be the A+ students, right? But the professors can clearly see, now obviously there are some a-hole professors out there that would want to make you flunk and stuff like that, but the good professors, right? And I like to see that myself as a good professor. I really want everyone to succeed, right? And that's how that's the only reason why I'm working so hard to make good educational materials to where they
because you don't really have to, bro. You just said how much you made today. You don't really have to at that point, right? You don't.
I don't even have to argue with people like, well, why
you don't? There's no argument there. Like there's no like, oh no, that's not true. No, it's
and
not.
there are so much other more topics to talk about why you paying for a service and to learn from mentors.
We can talk for years about all of this. Like I think I feel like we have learned so much about humans and psychology just running like a course. Just seeing people's behaviors, seeing how people act, seeing what they do, this, that, or whatever.
That's why you're so successful at your age, bro. So like that's why like yeah, man. You got Splash. Obviously, you guys know all the listeners. Like he's killing it for his age, and I wish if I could go back in time and I could start at that at age at that with that kind of mindset, then I would be, my gosh, So super proud of you, man. But man, what were we talking about? We're talking about like the people. So, at the end of the day, man, people, when I see my students, I see the guys asking the right questions. The guys are always attending the live calls. I look, man, people think that I don't know a lot, or people think I don't know what's going on in the background. I actually see a lot of it, man. I see clear as day and night. I'm like, man, this guy's been tuning into like every little thing that I all the webinars, all of the like those Zoom calls. Like the guy is showing up every single time asking me like good questions. There are such thing as stupid questions. A lot of people say, oh, there's no such thing as stupid question. There is a such thing as a stupid question. All right, a lot of people don't need to get that through their thick skull. Some of them, people don't understand that there is such thing as stupid questions. So ask good questions. I can already tell the guy's been doing, he's been studying, he's been watching the videos, right? The people that always ask the same old stupid questions are people that I can already tell they never put in the work. You know what I mean? Right. They never even watch the video. It's like it's such a simple, basic question. It's like they've been with me for like 3 months and they're still asking me the basic questions that these rookies ask me on the day one. You know what I mean? And so it's like, wow, like you definitely have been studying. All you're trying to do is just hold my hand, like I'm like your daddy or something. That's not gonna happen. The students that are excelling are the guys that are putting in the work for themselves. through the educational courses and then the educational materials that I've curated over the past 8 years of trading. And then what they're doing is, they're just showing up, taking action, and then executing exactly what I taught them. They actually listen, So, God gave you guys 2 ears and 1 mouth. You feel me? So like people just listen. The guys are excelling. The guys are always rambling on, trying to do their own thing. Like what are you trying to do your own thing when, I teach you guys, you guys are joining into my group for a reason, because you want to learn the ins and outs of my brain, how I look and to trade these stocks and what are my strategies. But it's like some people like, I don't get it. What are you doing here? It's almost like they're just here to just, have a little chit chat, in the group, and maybe some people, and I don't mind. I mean, they're paying for it, but it's like sometimes like, man, like let's stay focused. Let's stay laser focused. And I'm telling you, man, it's always the guys that ask the good questions. Like I said, always attending the live sessions. They are journaling. It's another big important thing. People journal like every single day, meaning I told them that, guys, I want you guys to write down all the stocks, journal like why you play that and how did that play go and how did that, why you felt like that stock trade wasn't the best. Even if you want, like I want everyone to like write down their thoughts at that moment, at that time, and then go back. Because what it is one of my other success reasons is I've been journaling for a long time. And so when I go back, I notice my weaknesses and strengths, all the mistakes that I make over and over again. That I know that I need to fix that. There's some sort of leak in my trading, right? And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people think, oh, it's just unlucky. I have an unlucky day. I just messed up. I was emotional. It's the same thing they say every single day. I don't get it. Some of these like chimpanzees don't get it. They keep saying that every single day. They never learn.
Right.
So if you keep saying, oh, I made a mistake, and you keep doing the same thing, that's not a mistake that you learn. You keep doing the same thing. I don't get it. People need to realize and slap themselves in the face sometimes and wake up. Like, yo, man,
Sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say like what you can't measure, you can't manage, right? Like, so if they don't know why they're feeling every day, so like you said about journaling, if they don't, review their performance for the day, how are they gonna improve, right? It's on their head.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think a lot of people need to seriously wake up, buckle up, and for those that are just looking to just binge watch Netflix, it's time to change your mindset. It's time to get back on the horse and, let's level up. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, that's what I see in a lot of my students. They're really driven. They're motivated. They're always showing up and they're always waking up early as the time I tell them to wake up early because, success requires that early morning where you wake up and you're prepared, man.
Sacrifice, man. Sacrifice of, sleeping in and stuff.
Exactly, man. A lot of people, don't understand no pain, no gain. It's the truth. No pain, no gain. I know it might hurt in the beginning, but guess what? It's going to become like your second nature habit. And it's not going to even hurt anymore. It's like, man, that's just who you are, man. It's like, when you wake up, some people have the right habit of just, fixing their bed and brushing their teeth and all that. Some people that don't have the habit, they just leave their bed all messed up and they don't brush their teeth and they show up to work all nasty breath. That's why no wonder nobody wants to talk with you, in the morning.
Right.
So a lot of people need to understand that.
That's a fact, man. That was, perfect what you pointed out. I guess to just kind of segue more into that, because I personally love talking about mindset and especially I love digging into other people's mindset as well, especially successful people, just because, I always like to know, how do they think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my question to you, and I'm genuinely curious as well, right? What are some beliefs and thoughts that you adopt or that you believe in that have completely changed your life? So I'll just tell you some of mine or just give an example just so you might have a better idea, but you might already know. But, for me, when I remember in September, when I really started raising my standards, I started seeing that it changed my life, I'm like, oh, if I don't tolerate less than 10,000 a month, like genuinely don't tolerate, I won't make less than 10,000. Oh, word, so that was a belief that changed my whole life. What are some beliefs, it can be one or two or many. I don't mind listening, right? I don't mind learning. What are those beliefs for you that have changed everything?
Right. So I think, a lot of people think that, you can just slide by, your success, or you can get lucky through success. There's no such thing as luck. A lot of people don't understand that man, I really don't want to sound like one of those guys. Work hard, guys. And
bro, we keep it real, man. Keeping it real.
Yeah,
it's real advice at the end of the day. You have to work hard, man.
Exactly. And let me tell you something. A lot of people, these kids, out there are on Instagram and they listen to these guys that, claim to be like, whatever. I don't care what they claim, but, they're speakers, right? And they're like, oh, these speakers are telling them, all of these things. Let me tell you, at the end of the day, you don't want to completely listen to everything that person says. Doesn't matter how many followers, doesn't matter what they achieved. At the end of the day, you have to understand that person is completely different from who you are, right? They could be, similar characteristics or personality, and that that's the reason why you might like that person or whatever. You follow that influencer. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that, we're two different people, and their experience that when they grew up is completely different, right? We got these guys that grew up like getting beat by their parents, and their experience was horrible, and they were like at a dirt, place. And some people grew up with their parents having a normal parent. Talking about like their experience is different. Right. The guys that grew up in the dirt and like they went through the whole fighting and the gang bust and all that, whatever. Like those guys are gonna tell you guys like at a level that they experience. So they're gonna be like, man, you guys have they're going to talk about much more extreme ways. And some people might not be comfortable at that, right? So for me, I decided to listen to people that fit me, and I got to say, I didn't like, obviously you grew up in those slums or anything like that. I grew up still in the lower middle class. I still struggled, when I was growing up, seeing my parents, suffering through their financial because, they weren't making a lot of money, man. And just all the problems just popped up left and right, left and right. So, you have to understand that, for me, I decided that at the end of the day, I'm not going to be this asshole. You know what I mean? Karma at the end of the day is a bitch. You know what I mean? So I've seen people like that are successful, but they become like really mean people. Right. So I'm like, that's something that I never want to do. I want to be, always I try to do my best to be humble, right? Because there are going to be someone that are better than you. There are going to be people that are smarter than you. But, I think one thing that really changed me personally for me, bro, like in the last 4 years is leaving the group where, you felt like you were like the smartest dude, because then you're like, you never level up, bro, because you're always surrounded by those, and I had to say
those yes men, man, those yes men.
Yeah, man. And you got to kind of make the sacrifice of giving up, your old friend group if they're not meeting your expectations. Because you know what? Honestly speaking, your friends, if you're hanging out with your friends, you should expect excellence from them. Just like you expect yourself to be excellent, I believe you should treat and think and expect out of your friends excellence and a lot of respect. So for me, man, I think one of the things that a lot of kids are having trouble with these days is just always trying to be, with their neighborhood buddies, trying to play video games, just eat pizza Friday nights and just sleeping in. And those kinds of, friend groups, you're never going to level up like that, right? Even if you want to level up, it's going to be very, very difficult because it's going to drag you down. Your environment really matters. So I started to change my environment, surrounding myself with more, ruthless minded people that are like all about go-getters. Those guys are like what makes you drive to work harder. So it's just the same thing. Like if I want to be a better trader, I want to be surrounded by a better trader. So there's always a better trader out there that I want to learn from, and that, you have to at the end of the day understand that, man, I'm gonna be humble and really listen in. A lot of people think they're the best, but they have no clue, bro. Did you compete in China? Did you compete in these different, countries? Some people just literally think at such a low level, like they're a community level, and then they don't think about the state level. They think about the national level. Have you thought about the world level? Like you have no idea until you actually go out there and then see for themselves. You hear these other guys absolutely crushing it. You know what I mean? Basically, I think I start to respect myself too. This is another huge thing. When you tell yourself that this is what you're gonna do, it's so important that you do it. You know what I mean? Like when you make a promise, you have to keep your promise, right? So like, for example, if we say we're gonna do this podcast, we're gonna make this podcast happen. If we keep on, saying, hey man, we're not gonna do this anymore. Or like, never mind, something happened. That's how keep people delay stuff. And at the end of the day, man, I'm a human being. I still struggle with that. But that's one of the things that I saw when I kept being consistent, keeping my promises. that's when you start really respecting yourself. And I think that's why I really respect my decisions in stock trading. Like a lot of people, they don't respect themselves. Like they promise themselves like, you know what, I'm going to go to bed tonight at 10 o'clock and then wake up at 5 a.m. How many people actually keep their promises? The guys that keep doing it consistently, those guys are the ones that are going to be successful. It doesn't matter what you do, but the guys always, man, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And then they don't do it tomorrow. They put it up next week. It's just the laziness that gets to them. That's why there are a lot more losers, that are not winning, versus there are a small group of winners. It's all about your habits and your mindset,
Right. 100%, man. That was the last part, bro. You nailed it. Like, I think that is what a lot of people mess up on is they don't trust themselves or respect themselves. Like if you tell yourself that, you're going to do 100 push-ups and you don't, if you set a goal for yourself, you're really not going to believe in your own ability. Cause you know what I mean? Exactly. In the past, you've kept so many promises to yourself and failed at every single one of them. So like you said, there's no confidence going forward. And with you, like every time you say, all right, I'm going to do 100 push-ups, you're doing it. Next time you say, next time you make a decision, you're going to be pretty firm on it. You know what I mean? Because like you said, you became more confident as you kept on, you kept your promises even more. Yeah. And man, that's some awesome stuff, man. I think the last point, that was my favorite.
Thanks, man. And I won't say real quick before I forget, a lot of people think, these guys are lucky or they have mommy and daddy money. Yeah. Some people did or whatever, some people actually, but how many people do you actually know that won the lottery and like that? No, they actually put in the work. A lot of us that are here at today, it didn't take overnight. There were nights, there were like literally a year. Okay. Literally a year where, I broke up with my ex, not freshman year, when I was graduating college. And this is a lot of story that I don't really talk about a lot. It's, it literally shredded my heart, and that's when I'll just keep it long story short. I got very depressed. There was one point where in my life, I hit almost rock bottom, man, because, the emotions got to me, man. Emotions got to me really big time and I got really weak, and I lost my manlyhood and I, got this snowflake mentality at one point, man. And when I hit the rock bottom, man, I decided that, I got sick and tired of it after some time, so I got back up, I told myself, screw all this. I'm going to, get back in shape. I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to lock myself in the room. I told myself, I promised myself, for 1 year straight, I'm going to lock myself in the room every single day, after my trading, and the rest of my time, I'm going to sacrifice pouring in on studying more on the stock trading. I'm going to develop myself. I'm going to work on my, just self-development, you know what I mean? And I've just been pouring in like day in, day out for a year straight, bro. And guess what? The results after that, it pays off like tremendously. Think about that. If you just, just make a promise to yourself, man. You really want to change your life, then you got to put it through your action, not just through the talk. Talk is cheap. Everyone talks these days. Let me see those numbers. Let me see them results. Let me see your results. At the end of the day, I deliver results because I put in the work. When I say put in the work, I don't just mean like, oh, just put hard work in. You obviously hear the smart work in and all that. But at the end of the day, yes, like the hard work, guys, I need everyone to understand that. Listen, that is just a very basic. Everyone is required. Everyone is expected to do hard work when it comes to success. That is not the equation. That's
inevitable in life.
Exactly.
You're going to work hard for yourself or someone else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You think, the guys that are stock trading, you think, oh my God, their life is so great. Their life is not going to be that great. Their life. See, the thing is, I study at night, right? And I wake up early to make that happen. And I do this. I've been doing this for years consistently. And that's what it is. I say to people, persistence will get you what you want, but consistence is going to help you keep what you want. You know what I mean? It's going to keep it. Just like, NBA players out there, you think those guys that shoot 3-pointers all time and good, you think that just were born like that and they just sit back down and watch Netflix all day long and then on the game day, they're just going to shoot threes like that? No, they come in and they show up, practice every single day to keep that, right? They have to practice, man. It's not like, you were just born like that, man. Everything that you want to keep good at trading money and make a lot of money, you got to keep at it, man. it's a consistency.
Right.
You got to keep at it. You know, a lot of people just lose their mojo and they like decide to like just decide to stop working anymore or something. I don't know what it is. They start getting into this, oh, well, I made it. No, if you think you made it, time to shoot higher. You know what I mean? That's what life is. Life is all about growth. Life is all about growth, you know? So, you know, that's a beautiful thing about it. A lot of people just have to see it. Like, man, that's such a beautiful thing about it. Like, you know, don't you want to see how much more potential you have left? Like, a lot of people think they just want to make $1 million and they go by the beach and they retire at like, you know, 20 or 30. Like, they make their little Bitcoin, whatever it is. The rich get quick rich scheme. These dreamers I don't think that's the dream, man. You know, I've tried doing that. You know, I made all this money and I tried going to the beach. I couldn't last about a week, man. I'm like, man, I'm getting bored out of my mind. I want to do something. I need to do something. And that's what drives me, because at least I'm impacting someone. That's right. Called the, you know, it's not just the money that gives you the money, dude, man. A lot of people don't believe this, but I get so high off on like other people's success. You know,
same here, man.
You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. That's why 100%. You want to keep doing. You want to make the course better. You want to be able to communicate better to them, because you actually want to see them success. Because you know what? At the end of the day, the guys that are doing well, they generally are happy for others. Though, you know, the losers, the jealousy is a sign of weakness. I want to tell you that. Jealousy is a sign 100%. Of weakness. There's no reason for me to get jealous of other people that are succeeding well, because the truth is, think about it. If you're doing so well, why would you be jealous of this other person that's doing well too? That doesn't make any sense. Right. Man. Human beings, we have kindness inside too. You know what I mean? People are like, man, dude, bro, that's what I'm talking about. Man, you're killing it. You know, I'm actually genuinely happy for you, because you know why? Like, I've been there and I saw your growth and I'm so proud of you. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I want to see on other people. And that's why I want to see the struggling students. I want to be able to, you know, say, man, congrats. Like, you're doing so well because you're actually listening and you're putting in the work. Like, I will do my best to offer you guys based on my services and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you still need to put in the work. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. And like you said, like, it's the same thing, you know, like once you see one of your students succeed, and I don't know about you, but like once you see it in real life, you're like, oh shit, like you were just a normal person. Like, you know, a couple of months ago, and now you're making a lot of money. Like that is, and I guess that was you kind of answered my next question. And, you know, it was being you know, someone that makes a lot of money, right? Do you ever get those feelings of, you know, complacency, or do you ever get comfortable?
You know, yeah, like there's been times, obviously, from time to time, you know, and that's what it is, man. It's called a self-checkup, you know, because we human beings, we're not perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We're always going to have some problems. We're going to have, you know, temptations. We're going to do things that we shouldn't be doing, but we still do it because we're imperfect human beings. But the beauty about it is you trying so hard, you doing your best to become better and better. You level up every year, and you know that. You'll know that when you're putting in, you will have no fear. A lot of people have trouble sleeping at home at night, right? You know why? It's because they know that they didn't give it their all. They're always worrying about something, and you know why? They're worrying because they didn't give it their all. They're like, man, I could have done better. But a lot of people don't understand that. They subconsciously are always worried about something. So I always want to give it my all throughout the day. And when you're damn tired, dude, and you lay in bed, you are going to go to bed like a baby. A lot of people, you know, they didn't do a whole lot and they're just in bed and they can't sleep because they're thinking about, oh man, I'm worried about this and that. You screw all those worries. You can worry about it when, you know, when the problem really actually happens, whatnot, you know, and then you solve it. And in fact, a lot of people need to see the problems as, you know, an opportunity to level up. I see every opportunity in my life now as an opportunity to level up. So I don't even get worried. When I hear about some sort of a problem or something happening, I'm like, you know what? It's all cool. This is an opportunity. I can't wait to solve this, you know. And also, I want to say something. This is another thing that I've been recently doing a lot more is when you get nervous about something, like you're kind of fearful about something, dude. Like literally, because you know I've been working on my mind so much that you tell your mind that, you know what? Because you know when you're in fear, like the human reaction, if you tell your brain that, you know what, I'm excited, you know, like if you tell yourself that is how your brain's gonna tell. Man, I'm excited. When you are in a nervous situation and you're trembling in fear, and you tell yourself that you're excited, it's a whole ball game changer, man. I've been doing this recently, and I mean, people can try it right now. People can just look in the mirror and say, "I'm excited," and smile, and they'll feel a bit better. Like right now, anybody can do it, and they'll literally feel better. Exactly. And that's, I mean, what you say, the words that comes out of your mouth, like, you know, like let's say the first thing you say in the morning is like, man, I'm going to destroy the day. It's a beautiful day, man. I'm good looking, man. I'm going to just absolutely just kill it today, you know? And that's how you start your day on a good note. But a lot of people, most people, what they do, oh, great, here's another day. Oh, crap, I got to see my coworkers again. Oh, I got to report to my stupid boss. I can't believe I hate my job. I hate my life. Oh, I don't want to wake up. I'm tired. You're literally going to, if you say all that, you're literally going to have a bad day. You're literally going to be tired. You're literally going to be sluggish. Your entire day is already ruined. So it's all about the preparedness, the way you start. Like I'm telling you, like there are strategies to these things. Like it's a little psychology thing, you know what I mean?
It's like a whole game, and it's like little cheat codes you can do to, you know, get better at the game.
And, you know, the people that never get laid or I wouldn't say the people that go to the bars and stuff and never pick up the chicks. It's because you don't know what to do. There's like little psychology tricks that you can say, just even saying one word or something, you know, and or like looking at the person right, or you know, your gesture. There's a lot of things that can change, but a lot of people, man, they don't understand. You know, they don't want to learn these techniques to further level up, you know, their life.
People don't want to put in the work to make their life better. People want a better life, you know, but they don't want to put in the work. I think it was a Will Smith that said, everybody wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. Right. And I was like, damn, I was like, that's facts, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay. Before we go, I'm curious about, like, you know, and I ask this for everybody as well. You know, how do you view money, and how has your view on money changed as you have grown and progressed in life?
That's a good question, man. A lot of great questions, by the way, but
thank you.
You know, when I was younger, when I was 19, I'm 27, by the way, now, obviously when you're younger, you're definitely going to be
still
excited.
Young as hell, man. Still young as hell.
Yeah. You're right. But it's just like, you know, I just think going back and looking back at my journey, it's just like, man, like, money definitely was a bigger drive for me, I think, when I was younger. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, it's not that I don't want to make more money or anything like that. It's just, you know, when you're young and naive a little bit, you're just more like, man, like, because you're kind of like in the unknown. You never made your first five, you know, when you first make your 5 figures, wow, and then you like make your first 6 figure, and then your 7 figure. It's like there's levels to these things, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, there's levels to this shit. That's my wallpaper. Yeah. It says there's levels to this shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. But then, yeah, man, for me, I think, here's the thing, man, in bottom truth, like my day-to-day life right now, at this moment, I don't know about the next few years, but I think for now, the way it's been is I don't really. Okay, well, first things first, man. There's a little certain truth to this. The guys that are making good money, and when I say good money, is there's no real number to it. It's an amount that you can live comfortably, you know. And I think you actually asked me about, do you ever get comfortable? And I don't think I've answered that, by the way. But you know, yeah, there are times where I do get comfortable. You have to self-check in. And it's like, you know what? Because I had to go back and remember my back in the days that there was no comfort back in the days, man. I remember there's so much bad. You know, it's kind of bad. You kind of have those bad memories, you know, like where you didn't have a place to go back in college, like during one of the winter breaks, and you know, you see your friends like skiing with their family, and like, you know, it's just unfortunate because, you know, my parents were back, and you know, we just couldn't see each other, you know, for multiple reasons, and you know, for like money issues and stuff like that, and it's just like that bad. And I was staying at some random person's house. It was all kind of broken, and there was no heater, and I was just like freezing there. And dude, it was just a bad situation. I was just crying in bed, you know. I used to cry a lot, man, because, you know, I don't know what it is, man. I was weak back then. I was a weak person, you know, and my mindset was weak. My attitude was weak. And I would just use my laptop as a heater. And just remembering that, man, I don't know, man. I think I teared up the most because it's just so sad, man. You know, like you just can't go anywhere, and then you just like there by yourself, and you got your little broken laptop trying to heat yourself up. What are you doing?
Crazy.
What are you doing with your life? You know, like you just like ask me. Now I've been in that situation in multiple different things, but you know, like it just makes me like I want to just. Man, I just want to succeed. I don't want to be in that place anymore, you know? And that's why I have to get back in my mindset. You know what? All of this thing that I have, this is, you know, for me, like, you know, like I had to be grateful. You know, I have to be grateful. This is not something that just came to me. I had to work for it. And therefore, you know what, in order to keep it, I had to be consistently, you know, keeping at it. I think a lot of people like to seek comfort. You know, for me, you have to do your best in order to level up. You have to remove those comfort levels. You have to get into the uncomfortable zones. You know what I mean? And you will probably hear that from other people. And that's because it's the truth. But what were you saying? Sorry, I got a little bit off topic because I wanted to answer your
Don't worry, man. That was awesome. I love that you touched on gratitude too. So your viewpoint on money.
Right. So I think for me, man, like I've been traveling around the world. That's one of the beautiful things about trading. Like you can just take your laptop and just travel. Yeah. And that's how I got to, this is what happens, man. I literally been traveling. People kind of see like my watch, or people see a shirt, or it's just crazy, man, how people, I don't know what it is. They just approach you. I don't know what, I have no idea. I just go to like a, club, bar, whatever, a restaurant. People always come up to me, one or two people, like, hey man, what do you do? And I tell them I'm a stock trader. And then, as I was traveling, I met some few cool dudes talking about, you got to build your Instagram and all this and that. So I just made my Instagram and they're like, you need to do this, you need to show this. I started doing that. And that's why I started to connect with people through like traveling, just connecting. And then, dude, like, when I moved here in say like, Houston, Texas, like every single time I go on the weekends, like I would have like, it's just funny, man, because it's just all through word of mouth. But then people come at me and like, what do you do? I just tell them that. We exchange on Instagram that night. At the club, I might have spent like, $500 on drinks, but then I made like $1,500 because people signed up to learn they want to do what I do.
True hustler right there.
Yes, man. I mean, it's just like, but it's like, that's the beautiful thing about like, a lot of people say, oh, you got to be an Instagram influencer. I don't really care about that. I just want to just keep doing what I'm good at. I think a lot of people just need to stick to being themselves and just do you, not try to be this, I got to, hook up with this Instagram influencer or whatever. No, screw all that. Just be yourself, be the best you can, and for me, the money aspects now, it's okay, it's kind of different because like for a trader like me, like the money, honestly, trading is the hardest, easy money you'll ever make. So like on days like today where I just nailed it, like $80,000, like that's like almost somebody's like yearly salary. Right?
Oh yeah, that's not like that is somebody's, and that's double someone's.
Yeah. So I think I am ambitious though. I'll tell you that I am ambitious, but it's not like ambition. Like I just want to keep stacking my money. Like I have been saving a lot of money. There's a lot of things I could do with money. I could be like the other guys where I just buy a Lamborghini. I could buy multiple Lamborghinis if I wanted, and be the guy that just shows up and I could do that. Who knows? But that's not what I'm doing. That's not my focus. My focus has been because I have been getting my fulfillment from my students, getting so much success. That is just something right now. That's just I want to keep doing, right? And in the future, I am thinking, man, who knows, man? Who freaking knows? Maybe I can even open up a hedge fund or something. Maybe something different. I don't know. I'm not, really. But it's something that I've thought about. Obviously not. But I'm working towards, where I want to build a bigger net worth. I want to get on Forbes. I want to be one of those guys. I see a lot of people looking up to me, and I want to, make sure I continue to do the right things to continue to inspire people, and, I mean, at the end of the day, it does feel good, man. I get more high and I get more joy off fulfillment of seeing other people succeed through what I'm doing, and I think God is blessing me through that way. And also I just have no problem. I'm just enjoying my life like that, man, and
hell yeah, man.
Views and money, like, dude, man, I don't even get impressed when I meet somebody with 300 million net worth, man, anymore. Like I've met billionaires before, you feel me? Because I was traveling around, and I have a lot of friends that are that level, what I mean? That are friends of mine. That's why I have that connection. So it doesn't really impress me if you are like 20 million net worth or 100 million net worth, or these guys on Instagram, these Grant Cardone and stuff. I really don't care. At the end of the day, I want to learn from and take in. Respect is earned at the end of the day. It's not about because you have a lot of money, but unfortunately, a lot of people do perceive in the society, the more money you have, let's face it, you do have a bit more respect towards that person. It's just a human thing. Because you see money can do a lot of things in life, right? It can't do everything. It can't buy your happiness, but it can do a lot of things that can actually, honestly, make your life comfortable and de-stress and all that stuff. So I think that's just something, that's where I'm at right now with money. Like I don't really care. Like I think the money is sky's the limit. I will just continue to do what I want to do. My goal is to keep getting more students and see more success. I want to keep building. I want to offer more value to the marketplace. I'm listening. I'm always getting feedback from other people, and I'm always writing down on my journals, and like I'm always planning ahead. I'm always scheduling out things. I'm just rebooting my new website now. There's a lot of things going on behind this. It's not just like, I'm sipping on a mojito, at an island because I just made a lot of money. No, screw that. I don't really care. 80,000, 80,000. You know what I mean? The money is just a number to me at this point. You know what I mean? So
right. That's what I've been noticing with a lot of people that make a lot of money is like money is not the motivation anymore. You know what I mean? Because you just said that like at one point it was, but then when you reach a certain amount, like you just told me your goals is to impact more people, and you know what I mean? Like your goals change from monetary value to more like, I guess, business or other different goals. And exactly. I really like that, man. And I really admire that as well.
And I want to say something, one last thing. You have to
go for it.
Tell yourself whatever, these guys, oh my God, I just made $1 million. Oh my gosh, I just made $15 million. Tell that for me, I'm like, that's nothing. I just tell that, like, literally, because I've been saying that to myself so much that like the money, it doesn't make me feel like that's like, dude, if you wanted to be a billionaire, you technically could. You could literally like make all that and stack it up if you want to, if you have the right, strategies, and you keep, you see what I'm trying to say? Like for me, like doesn't impress me. Like the money part doesn't impress me because my mind is so, geared towards like, obviously when you're younger, like, oh my gosh, wow, this guy's worth 20 million. Wow. But then like, you see these other guys are like at like 50 billion, I'm like, dude, like, this is
there's levels to this shit, man. There's a reason that's my wallpaper. I literally remind myself every day if I'm trying to get complacent, if I start like celebrating too early, I look at my phone, there's levels to this shit.
I want to say too, don't ever like bend over for somebody because this guy has a lot of money. I see these guys doing that, and they do that to me too. People are like, dude, what are you doing?
It's so sad, right? Like they treat you completely different just because they have money. Like that's why I had to create a whole separate Instagram, because when I was introducing myself to a lot of people, like before they met me versus when they followed me on Instagram, they acted like so fake and super like, weird towards me, man. It was weird.
Yeah. But, I think for me too, like I don't just keep stacking money. There's, things that I've been doing, I give money to my family, there's, this is another thing. A lot of people keep talking about, oh, I want to help my family. Well, the thing is, you got to start, even if you don't have a lot of money, you got to do with what that amount you have to give to whatever you can. Like you have to, what I mean? Like back in the days when I was still broke, dude, I still would give at least 100 or 200. That's the start.
100%.
If you can't do the small things, you will never, ever do the big things. I hear stories all the time like, oh, these guys are making a lot of money. But then those guys that may be making money, so-called making good money, never, ever give back to their family or the community or something. Or they're just greedy, man. Greedy pigs. That's why, dude, at the end of the day, man, you may keep it, it's going to be temporary. There's going to be a day where you're going to lose it all. If you keep up with that attitude, with that sick, dirty, attitude, and you're all egotistical, let me tell you something. Nobody likes that. And at the end of the day, it's going to all crumble down at one point,
100%, man. That was amazing. That was beautiful, bro. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you just sharing the value.
It's been long, yeah.
I know. I'm so glad we finally made it happen. And like I said, man, like once we do link up, we got to do an in-person interview.
Of course, bro. I can't wait. I got to visit Canada, bro. So I got to visit Toronto.
100%. Especially now that, since I put so many people on from Canada here, there's so many people that excited to just meet you. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
There's people here.
We're going to party it up. We're going to have a great time, guys.
All of that, man. All of that, bro. All right. So all of your social media links and, your website, you can plug it right now, but we're going to put it below, man. Go for it. Just share your social media links and the website and everything.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I could do that. So there's 2 websites, but right now I think everyone just needs to focus on the prosperity-trading.com/offer. I think the new, this is through ClickFunnels. So I just want everyone.
Yeah, no worries. I'll get the link from you and post it in the thing below so they can just click that, or they can.
Yeah. I'll just post it here on the group chat. I guess I'm not sure if people can see it or not, but either way.
They won't be able to see it. I'll post it on the, I'll post it on the actual, the episode.
Yeah. So, it's been great, man. I've been getting, there's dude, the great, beautiful thing about this group is it doesn't matter what you do, man. People from being doctors, lawyers, judges, firemen, celebrities. We got multiple celebrities in the group. I'm not going to say who they are, but, like they are in the group. They're learning. They're making money. Like, it doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter who you are, what age, like what ethnicity, what country. Anyone can do this as long as you have the ability to have a connection to the Wi-Fi, you got a laptop, and you have the desire to learn. and you're gonna earn.
Awesome.
I mean,
Awesome, man. Awesome, bro. Thank you again for coming on. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Bye.
That is it for this episode of Keeping It Real, everybody. And if you guys did enjoy this episode, I just ask for a small favor, and that is to share this with someone that you know would benefit from this podcast, as I really want to grow this community and this podcast through word of mouth, right? From you guys sharing it or telling someone to mess with this podcast or listen to this podcast or posting us on Instagram. And by the way, guys, if you do post us on Instagram, please use the hashtag Keeping It Real and tag me at Splashman PB, just so I can see it, just so I can, stay connected with the family and interact with some of you guys. But yeah, like I said, if you guys want to keep in touch with me, my Instagram is at Splashman PB. If you guys want to check out my YouTube, where I drop amazing content and amazing value as well, just search my name, Parikshit Busnit, and my channel will appear. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.